If we follow the agenda, I think that we should have Donatella Sciuto right now.
Buongiorno a tutti. Welcome, everyone. I'm really glad to be here today. I'd like to thank Micron for having invited me to this event. And with Politecnico, Micron shares a long history. It's not the first time we meet. We know each other quite well. And our cooperation between Micron Foundation and Politecnico di Milano dates back to a few years ago. Micron has been a partner in a number of research projects side by side with our departments of electronics, informatics, and bioengineering, which, by the way, I belong to. It has been supporting our PhD programs, which are for us the mainstream for new research to be educated and start their careers. And Micron is also a place where many of our students accomplish their rewarding career. Nevertheless, there is one aspect of this partnership that we Politecnico di Milano particularly appreciate, and it's the aspect related to social engagement. And it's the reason why we are here today. Over the course of this long time cooperation, it turned out Micron does not consider our university only as a place where one can get the best students or the best solution. Rather, is a place where one can turn technology into a potent social driver. And this is the key to the future. We have stated clearly in our strategic plan for the next 3 years, and through its foundation, Micron has shared these values, such as the importance of STEM issues, of fostering technical studies at all levels, starting from a very young age, and in which we should be able to stress the female students to start their career in technological positions. The dedication to gender issues in general, and to an inclusive studying and working environment where women can find their way out of prejudice and preconceptions. So let me close by saying thank you to the bright and talented students who have worked on the 2 projects presented today. They have been amazing. Thank you for having turned my department a collection of objects that I've seen there for many years, and which were only visible to those which were in the aisles and the rooms of the department. They are now visible to everybody, telling a story of our development in terms of technology. And you have brought this old technology back to life and visible to everybody. And thank you for showing us that tradition is not something of the past, but a place where future is rooted. And I would like to thank also the dedicated professors that have helped the students to recollect and put together the history of this object and of the technologies behind them. So good luck to our students, and I hope to see them again in our classrooms in case you decide to enroll at Politecnico di Milano. Our doors are open to everybody. Thank you, especially for young girls.
Okay, I think it's my time. I'm Andrea Senesi. Buonasera a tutti. Good evening to everybody. I wish to thank Professoressa Sciuto, the Vice Rector at the Politecnico di Milano, and Micron for our long and productive collaboration, and we will certainly continue to work together in the future. Many of you already know Fondazione because we have worked together so far, and now I will simply provide a brief outline of our work for those that don't know us. Fondazione was established to emphasize the university's research and to support innovation within the Italian economic, productive, and administrative framework. Our motto is anticipating the future, meaning that we would like to avoid to be caught unawares in front of the challenges arising from the technological and social evolution, and remains as pertinent as ever today, and charts the course for all of us. We belong to the Politecnico di Milano. We are part of its ecosystems, and consistently with our mission, we try to facilitate the connection between industries, institutions, and our local territory. So we are, I think, a solid point of reference for the university for the support it can give to the process of developing entrepreneurship and to the path of internationalization of the Politecnico di Milano. In addition, I would like to underline the passion and commitment which we have consistently placed on the topics of sustainability and social responsibility. On this point, and always respecting the role that we play in supporting the university's third mission, I'm very proud to state that the foundation has and is investing significant resources in developing human capital, and it is committing itself more and more in promoting the STEM subjects. To date, we have completed several initiatives. The names of these initiatives are, for example, This Girl Can, or the Tech Camp, or Progetto C, that bring young people close to the technical and scientific subjects. And we achieved, I think, very significant results on these projects. Training scientific minds, minds of the future, is a topic that is very close to our heart, because we firmly believe that only through knowledge and the training of competent professionals we will be able to tackle the challenges of tomorrow. This means that we will put even more faith in initiatives such as those achieved with Micron and Micron Foundation. And this project will become progressively more strategic for us in terms of both commitment and desired impact. So, as president of Fondazione Politecnico, I'm very proud to be a member of this team. And again, thanks to Politecnico di Milano, Micron and Micron Foundation for the opportunity of together creating innovative education initiatives. You will soon see the results. I'm truly enthusiastic also because my mom is born on the border of the Adda River at Trezzo sull'Adda, so I had the opportunity to see the place where my family belongs to. Thank you again.
So thank you, Donatella. Thank you, Andrea. Now I leave the stage to our colleagues from Micron. I have the pleasure to introduce Linda Somerville, who is a corporate vice president on mask and material characterization. Then we'll have Sharon Connors, our vice president for D&I, diversity, equality and inclusion in Micron. And last but not least, we have Dee Mooney, which is the director of Micron Foundation. So thanks, I leave you the stage.
Thank you, Manuela, for the introduction.
We cannot hear you.
Linda, we cannot hear you well.
How about now? Can you hear me?
Not well, Linda.
Sorry, I'm not sure why I was looking.
Would you like me to kick off and share a little bit about DEI, and then Linda, maybe we can help you with your audio while I'm doing that? Would that be helpful? Okay. So hi everyone. I'm Sharon Connors, Vice President of Diversity, Equality, and Inclusion at Micron. I'm so excited to be here. I was listening to the earlier comments and really thinking about our strategy around diversity, equality, and inclusion. And a very critical piece of that strategy is really around increasing representation of underrepresented groups. And we know at Micron that we have so much opportunity when we look at our representation of women technical talent and women in leadership. And that's such an important piece of the puzzle. We know that by having different voices at the table and different team members with different life experiences, it ultimately creates new ideas, right? And different ways of processing information and that different background and perspective. And ultimately for us, that leads to the best innovation and the best solution. And so that's really what we're after with our commitment to diversity, equality, and inclusion. It's about making sure we're sourcing talent and we're looking for good talent, talented men and women from different universities that have that strong technical background, but also have the ability to think and to express themselves, and they feel empowered to speak up, because ultimately, again, that's how we get the best solutions. So that's really what we've been focused on at Micron. And I'm so excited that we have this partnership with you all. And as I'm hearing about, the PhD program and all the things that you all are learning in STEM, I'm excited about what that brings to our organization. And so this is something that we're fully committed to. It is not just a check the box activity for us. We work very hard with our leaders so they understand the value of diverse talent and how to support diverse talent and how do we nurture an environment of belonging. So you have our full support. Again, we are delighted to continue this partnership, but really just wanted you all to know that for us at Micron, this is something that we are committed to. Our CEO sits with me and we review the organization and how many new college grads we have coming in and what is the diversity of that class. So we will continue to make investments in these areas and partner with universities to really make sure that our company is representative of the communities that we live, work, and play in, because ultimately that is what we're after. It starts at Micron within our four walls, but then it goes out into our community. And I know Dee will talk a little bit more about how we make those investments like this in the community to provide support. But we have a full executive team that is dedicated to our DEI commitment. So it's not just a piece of what we do. Diversity, equality, and inclusion is really how we do business. So I just wanted to share that with you all, and thank you.
So can you hear me now?
Yes.
Thank you, Sharon.
You're welcome.
I had to switch to my laptop, so I hope you can hear me. I thank you, Sharon, for that. And I really it's kind of a reverse now, because I wanted to introduce Micron to people who maybe don't know us, and then talk a little bit about, our relationship with Politecnico di Milano. So for those of you who may not know us, Micron is a global provider of memory and storage technology. And our memory is in the devices you use every day, from your phone to your automobile to your laptop. We've been doing business in Italy for over 10 years, and I personally had the wonderful opportunity to work in Milan for Micron for 3 years, where I managed semiconductor process technology research and development. During this time, I was witness to the significant collaboration between Politecnico di Milano and Micron, and I came to appreciate the quality of the education at Politecnico for students in engineering and other fields. We know that we need to attract and hire and retain the best talent in the world in order to solve our most difficult, challenging problems in the semiconductor industry. We also know that fostering this talent must start at a very young age. And so around the world, as you've heard, we have a focus on STEM education. STEM Beyond Borders and Barriers is a part of that effort, and it is really an honor for us to be a part of this project. we want to tell you a bit more about Micron's foundation and our focus on inspiring learning around the world. So I'll hand it off now to Dee Mooney, who's Micron's the director of the Micron Foundation. Thank you.
Thank you, Linda, for that introduction, and hello, everyone. Good afternoon. I am so pleased to be here, and like Linda said, my name is Dee Mooney, and I'm the director of the Micron Foundation, and I have the pleasure of participating in projects like we are hearing about today. I want to congratulate you on the completion of these projects and really look forward to hearing more about them today. So at the Micron Foundation, our vision is to transform our communities, utilizing our philanthropy, our grant dollars, and our people. And we focus on STEM education, basic human needs, and providing equitable opportunities for all. STEM education is so near and dear to our heart. You heard Linda talk about Micron, you heard Sharon talk about the importance of technology and problem solving and critical thinking. And those are the types of skills that we are really hoping that our students are engaging in. And we're hoping that with projects like these, that's something that you've learned. So I was so pleased to read about your projects because it really truly was a blend of that science and math, technology, and helping out in our community with a project for social good. So just a little bit about our foundation. We provide funding in over 18 communities throughout the globe. We have given almost $140 million away throughout the last 20 years that we have been in a business at the foundation. And it is really, truly a pleasure to inspire that next generation. I want you to think about that. I know sometimes math and science can be difficult, but just think of them as tools to solve tomorrow's problems. And think of all the great work that you've done to be able to give access to others on these two projects. And that's really what we are so inspired to hear about today. So I want to thank Politecnico, the professors, our team members that have supported the students, the community partners that were involved, and really especially the students for all of your work that you've done here today. I hope that it was a fabulous experience for you, and thank you so much for making a positive change in your communities. Manuela, back to you.
Yeah. Thank you, Sean. Thank you, Linda. Thank you, Dee. So first of all, I would like to thank Politecnico and Fondazione Politecnico for organizing this event and hosting all stakeholders, students, public authorities, and press. I also thank, of course, Micron colleagues who decided to attend this event even early in the morning, so thanks. Before start, please thank a special thank to all stakeholders who helped to make these projects possible. So Micron Foundation, which sponsored the project, Fondazione Politecnico, which helped in coordinating the role of Politecnico professors and participate as a member of scientific committee. Politecnico of Milano, of course, which through its professors acted as a big supervisor and subject matter expert. Micron itself, which acted as member of scientific committee and as tutor of students. Museo di Leonardo, which acted through its expert to supervise the work of our students in one project. Of course, all school professors who followed all the job of our students, and municipalities that today are present that linked to ADA territory, which have believed in this project and have given their patronage. So today I'm here with a double role. I'm so proud of that. I'm ambassador of Micron Foundation, but also as Micron, so member of the scientific committee. I have the honor to present this new format of this new outstanding format of STEM project. This format, as Linda and Donatella said, is the result of a long and fruitful collaboration between Politecnico and Micron, and has shown the successful interaction of different schools and university under the supervision of subject matter experts. All of you received the agenda, so you said the title of today's event, STEM Beyond Borders and Barriers. I still remember the day when we were sitting around the table, Micron and Fondazione Politecnico, thinking about some innovative project. So we decided to propose to the school an innovative project which could reach everyone in the world. This is why Beyond Borders, and which could have an important social impact, so behind barriers. So we decided to have two different schools. From one side, we wanted to use the technological competencies of IT students of Technical Institute, but from the other, we also wanted to add the scientific literature and linguistic knowledge of students of schools like Liceo Scientifico. So we wanted to have at the end a product of high quality, which was reliable from the scientific point of view and usable by the community. In few words, the purpose of these both projects has been to put together different competencies of two schools, IT Technical Institute and Liceo Scientifico, to create projects at the service of the community. And the result, you will have a look in a while from now, has been really a very scientific value recognized by the expert and professor that today are present. Technology has the power to open doors to new and digital way of learning, working, and communicating. Students have learned how to use technology and develop creative thinking. So let's go directly to the two projects. We'll start with the project Adda di Leonardo. The project covers a path of Adda about 6 kilometers from Santuario Madonna della Rocchetta to Imbersago on an open-air museum. In these places, Leonardo da Vinci took inspiration for one of its most famous paintings and for his scientific studies on the navigability of the river Adda. So we can say that in this project, art and science are at the service of the community. Some section of this part of the river are not easily accessible. So we decided to choose exactly this part because we wanted to give the possibility to people with disability to travel this stretch of the river and look through the young eyes of our students that, believe me, created an incredible emotional journey. And the project is made in Italian, English, and French. Second project, incredible, was Polimuseo. This project is done inside Politecnico, so we are not on the nature anymore. And this project has the scope to open the doors to the historical scientific device which have contributed to make the history of computer science, electronics, and telecommunication. All these devices are preserved at the DEIB, Department of Electronics, Information and Bioengineering in Politecnico of Milano. For the preparation of this project, our students had the opportunity to meet professors well recognized in the field of ICT, like Maria Giovanna Sami, Maurizio Decina, Roberto Negrini. I want to read all the names: Vito Moia, Loredana Cristaldi, Michele D'Amico, Marco Sampietro, and Gianguido Gentili. This virtual museum is well preserved in the server of DEIB at Politecnico of Milano and is available to all people interested in this content, all students who may need this project as a reference for their studies. This project, this material, is made in Italian and English. Okay, right now I don't want to give many details on the project because I want to leave the stage to the students We'll start with the presentation of project Adda di Leonardo. This project has been made by two schools from Bergamo city, Liceo Lussana and Marconi Institute. So from Liceo Lussana we have Rachele Agliardi and Gaia Gualandris. For Marconi Institute we have Andrea Troccolo and Raul Sorrentino. So Rachele, please start.
All right. Do you hear me?
Yes.
All right. So, good morning, everyone, or good afternoon. And I'm Rachele, and today we're going to talk about the long and complex path that led us to the realization of this app, Adda di Leonardo, which is a digital path designed specifically for the involvement of all those who are interested in this particular itinerary on the Adda River. Before explaining the app creation process, we have to answer a really simple but yet fundamental question. Why did we choose to bring on screen this museum that follows the course of the Adda River? One of the main reasons concerned the conformation of this territory. In fact, the Middle Adda, having a canyon conformation, turns out to be rather difficult to travel and therefore impractical for people with motor disabilities. Here comes the idea of a digital support, which allows everyone to easily enjoy the breathtaking views and the changing flow of the river. Another incisive motivation is based on the choice of a particular historical figure. In fact, in 2019, which was the year of project launching, the anniversary of Leonardo da Vinci, of the death of Leonardo da Vinci, occurred, marking 500 years worth of history and inspiration from this unforgettable figure. Knowing that Leonardo was proved to be a great expert in a huge variety of areas and being inspired by his ability of connecting and comparing the different artistic and scientific realities of his time, we tried to imitate him by supporting the natural reality of the Ecomuseo with an accurate digital accessibility. Now I'm gonna let my friend Gaia speak about the other part of the project.
Can you hear me? Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Gaia, and I go on with the presentation. We have rebuilt a new Leonardo's path as you would never have imagined. It's about a personal narrative that gives a new interpretation. Our contents are strong. Also, the biography we reported is strong, and there are many and deep inputs. Everything we have written is the result of a detailed research and a comparison of data. We didn't just go to websites, often easy to read. We followed a certain method and scientific rigor to make the information reliable, because the visitor gave us confidence and we didn't betray it. Meeting the territory also means meeting its protagonists. So the interviews done to Walter Motta, Ingrid Anghileri, Guido Stucchi and Fiorenzo Mandelli were very useful because they gave us a further point of view, the one of those who live and feel that place. So the research between books and people confirm our commitment. We went out there, we observed with the curious eyes, we walked for a long time, and we breathed, I can say, an air full of beauty and hidden knowledge that we couldn't wait to show to the whole world. So we have opened the curtain on the great story for those who are not lucky enough to visit this real gift of nature, so that everyone through our words and our videos can know and live this experience in part on their own skin. Our relationship with people and also our direct contact with the outside world has led us to fully be involved in this matter. We also understood the timing, the language and the demands of a company that is really different from those of the academic world. From the beginning, we had to deal with our creativity. We had to run the risk of failing in front of university professors and a global international company as Micron. And this has led us to organize ourselves, to stay in the time, and to better understand the meaning of project management. And I must admit that during our work, we dare to present videos, photos, and texts, of course, in a completely unconventional way. And all this has made us grow and mature because we understood that in the world of work, with timing, determination, and tools, many goals can be translated into reality. So, returning to our Leonardo, the work wasn't easy at all. We had to combine two different points of view for this place. If on one hand we consulted scientific books, biographies, and history with critical sense, on the other hand we have been guided by the poetics of the Adda. For this reason, we can speak of Leonardo as a man skilled in many ways. A beautiful union for the Adda, from sacred river to secular resource, and then engineering and industrious river. This was our idea of poetics, from word to number. So from water as a goddess in Marian cult to canals, mills, and hydroelectric power plants. This is the key point of the first up stage, which introduces all the next stages. For example, speaking of another stage that is about Rocchetta and Virgin of Rocks, the one I worked on personally, the flow of the Adda is that of a river with a strong personality, which changes, is constantly renewed, and it flows in the locality of Trecorni, near a small sanctuary called Rocchetta. And Rocchetta recalls the Marian cult, and it is built in a Roman castrum with many centuries of history behind. You can find this in the section Rocchetta. In addition, I can say that along the course of the river, there are many rocks that interrupt the progress of this placid water and cause rapid bubbling. Here is the relief of the locality of Trecorni, Three Horns, where probably Leonardo set the painting. You can find in the section of the painting a detailed explanation. The genius is that even in a painting, Leonardo managed to outline this restless water that is in constant change and shows us once again the idea of river of time. And then a very interesting curiosity lies in the angelic curly hair of the painting, because seem to refer to small vortices of the showing the interest of Leonardo, both artistic and scientific, as my friend Raquel has already said. And so that's it. And I recommend to take a look on the section suspended between the sacred and the profane to receive a sensory description with suggestive images.
All right, so we are now in the middle of our journey on the Adda banks, and another intriguing stage focuses on the mysterious bridge of San Michele, best known as Ponte di Paderno. It was designed in 1886 by Jules Rotlisberger with innovative techniques, and it was extremely important for the time. In fact, it was considered as a masterpiece of civil engineering. Eventually, it ended up being compared to the Eiffel Tower itself, similar in construction and historical period. According to the legend, this bridge keeps the mystery of a curse, and it also resembles the famous Leonardo's Bridge, which is an invention based on the interlocking of different structural elements. To stay on the topic, we have to say that one of the most distinctive and popular stages of the museum is the ferryboat of Inversago, which is an unusual river crossing system that allows you to cross from bank to bank the Adda River with a complex rolling system, which inspired so much Leonardo da Vinci too. We had the opportunity to experience this crossing in person as we set out on the banks of the Adda River to take advantage of what the museum proposed. Especially the group that took care of documenting and informing about the ferry had the opportunity to interview Ingrid Anghileri, who is the official ferrywoman of Inversago, who follows their further footsteps in the nautical world. She gave us some really valuable information about the ferryboat and its operation. Alongside the turbulent course of the Adda River, there is Naviglio, which is an artificial canal more suitable for smooth sailing, and it was probably Leonardo's design, but it was realized and finished in 1777 by Giuseppe Meda. We have now arrived at our last stage of the Ecomuseo, which is certainly the closest, temporally speaking, to the visitors of this incredible place. And it transports us into the reality of electric innovation, as you can see by observing these beautiful hydroelectric power plants, Bertini e Sterle. The complex of structures was highly productive and effective, and neo-Renaissance features. And it was born from an agreement between Edison and the city of Milan in order to electrically empower the trams of the big city. The power of water didn't fail to attract even Leonardo da Vinci, who worked on many other projects about it, such as the system of locks, which were some real water elevators, and the study of machines running in perpetual motion.
Just to give you an idea, we wanted to show you one of the emotional videos. Okay, sorry, maybe the connection was a little bit disturbed, but we wanted to show that transmitting as well as informing are the goals of these videos and these images, and we hope to have succeeded. But before finishing, me and Rachele wanted to say that we are proud to be here representing our school, Liceo Lussana, and we want to underline that we spoke on behalf of our entire class, since this project has been the result of a teamwork. So thank you for this opportunity, and thank you for your attention. I leave the stage to the boys.
Good afternoon all, I am Andrea Troccolo.
And I am Rosso Rentino.
Thanks for giving us the chance of having done the work that we are going to present, starting from the beginning. The idea on the ground of this project was to provide a perspective on a treasure of our surroundings, the Adda, showing off its necessities and giving space to curiosities often untold. unless if you have the chance to speak with historians and locals. The scope behind the project was creating a mobile app in which multimedia contents are shown. Particular attention is given to the role of videos, which are sharply accompanied by the text. These contents were produced by Lussana and Marconi High School for telling the story of Leonardo Sadda, trying to enhance its emotional value.
To do that, we followed 4 phases. We started with analysis, when we studied and visited the context, and we focused on understanding our expected target and its needs. This informed the definition of the content and functional requirements. So we moved on to the research phase, looking for case studies aimed at exploring the design terms of UX and UI, while building a visual benchmark for the app. Then we designed the app architecture and its structure and the visual. Finally, we started the development of the back and the front end.
This project gave us a great opportunity for developing our own skills. Going beyond the technical and computer ones, we also trained our soft skills. We learned how to holistically combine our computer science knowledge with others, and starting from the design of a graphic interface and the analysis of the target audience. Every aspect contributes in building a coherent, modern, functional, and intuitive app. For the development, after a careful study of possible solutions, we choose the Microsoft platform Xamarin. So here we go to the app.
As the entry point, we chose a visual approach and conveying the information via images and icons rather than text. As you can see, in fact, since the beginning, the attention is on captivating images. They lead the narrative through the most important places along our hub. Then the map locates them geographically. In doing so, we decided to optimize the navigation by replacing the menu with just 2 icons, allowing the user to select the language among Italian, English, and French, and to go to the map.
Opening each step framed as an accordion section, the user can get immersed into the story through textual, visual, and audiovisual contents. The narrative is structured as a sequence of sections aimed at shaping the context according to the topic. This avoids the user to get lost in long text. For structure, we follow the design standard. We choose modern fonts optimized for the web, obtaining as a final result a page suitable for the fruition of content. Finally, the app is available on the Play Store and Apple Store. To download them, just scan the QR codes of your platform or type the link in browser.
Getting to the end of the project and speaking for a majority that we representing here, we can say we are deeply satisfied with the results we gain. We need to recognize that we point thanks to the collaboration between classmates, between the 2 schools, and with the guidance of our professors and of the team from the design department of the Politecnico di Milano, as well as the various partners. Thanks for the attention.
Thanks.
So thank you, guys. Very nice presentation. Okay, so now we listen the presentation of Polimuseo project. This project has been made by 2 schools, Technical Institute Einstein and Liceo Scientifico Banfi. Both schools are from Vimercate town. From Liceo Banfi, we have Asal Pulatova and Chiara Gabelloni. From Einstein Institute, we have Alessandro Pecis and Andrea Miele. Let's start.
So good morning or good afternoon. I'm Asal Pulatova, one of the students from Liceo Banfi who worked on the Polimuseo project. I want to start by thanking the Polimuseo Foundation and Micron Technology for having allowed us to work on this project. It was for us an opportunity to grow and to collaborate. Purpose of the project was to build a virtual museum. And some might ask, why should we do this? What was our goal? Well, we wanted to give a new life to instruments and tools that made the history of science and technology, and that now, unfortunately, lie idle in the professors' offices and in the Politecnico rooms. Thanks to the Polimuseo project, these instruments and tools had the chance to be taken outside the cabinets and corridors hosting them, and they are now accessible and available to the curiosity and the study of interested people from all over the world. Here we have just a few examples of the instruments you can find on the website. So, what was our experience? This demanding and challenging project had a crucial importance for those of us who worked on it, since it helped us in promoting both our personal and our cultural growth. We had the chance to work with prestigious entities such as Politecnico and its foundation. We took an active part in retracing a portion of the history of science and technology, thanks to which we now can benefit from essential instruments for our lives. An example nowadays, it's the difficult times we are living. Unfortunately, a pandemic is spreading, but these tools are helping us keep in contact with our schools, our jobs, friends, with everyone in the world. But after talking about the project itself, I want to talk about some great academic personalities we met during this journey, such as Professor Amoya, Professor Decina, Professor San Pietro, and Professor Sami. They told us their own experiences and the experiences of their masters. All of them are brilliant personalities, real pioneers, which made the history of science of our country. So I just want to take a look to the website to show you the interviews we've done during the course of this project. So we have Luigi Dadda, Ercole Bottani, Maria Giovanna Sami, Maurizio Decina. I want just to tell some interesting facts. For example, we found out that Professor Bottani gave a substantial contribution to the reconstruction of the industrial network in the post-World War II Italy. Or we learned that Professor Tarassa was a collaborator of the Syria project and part of the ESA group. But another great personality we were fortunate to meet was Professor Sami, that definitely left her mark in each of us. She recalled with us her history as a scientist, but especially as a woman in an almost exclusively male world. Her words brought us to a deeper awareness of the fact that if today we women of tomorrow are able to access fields like science and technology, it is only thanks to the great efforts and tenacity of women like her who traced the path. She told us also a lot of anecdotes. For example, that at the beginning of her university studies, she was just one of 3 students among 900 freshmen, and one girl among 100 freshmen, and that's truly incredible. And unfortunately, today these numbers are rising, and I'm hopeful these numbers will rise even more in the future. I wish I could have the time to tell you about all those great personalities, but unfortunately I don't have the time. So I will tell you about something that comes natural after speaking about those great personalities. We, as students, were really worried at the beginning of this journey. We were just teenagers that had to face some difficult tasks, but we took up the challenge and we definitely got involved. So it was an amazing journey, an incredible adventure for us. And I want to thank Professor Schreiber for helping us by providing his knowledge and experience. And also I want to thank researcher Meroni, who provided us the technical support we needed. So thank you all for your attention. I now leave the stage to Chiara Gabelloni. Thank you.
Can you see my screen?
Not yet. If you can show your face also, could be nice, Chiara.
Sure.
We didn't see Azal, so maybe Azal, late you can show yourselves because you are so nice, girls, and I would like to show.
There is a problem. I can't show my face if I'm like.
You're not my face, so.
If I'm sharing my screen, there isn't the option to show also my face. I'm trying, but
no problem.
It's not possible. I'm sorry. Do you see my screen now?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm Chiara, and today I'm here to show you how we proceeded with this project. So how did we work? First of all, we visited the places where these tools are conserved. This gave us the opportunity to actually see and sometimes even touch the instruments under consideration. After that, we wrote the prototype of the sheets, trying to picture a structure that could be ideal to different types of users, so that it could be both like interesting to the experts, but that could also capture the attention of the casual net surfers. So after having evaluated the different options, we decided to structure the sheets this way. So we divided them into 4 parts. The first one with we put the picture and a brief description of the tool. Secondly, we wrote the details and curiosities about the functioning of the tool and its history. Then we wrote the data sheet with the more technical informations, and lastly, the bibliography. Later, I will show you an example. Afterwards, we went to the Politecnico to take a few pictures of these tools. This was followed by the documentation work done on each tool. For this part, we decided to work into divided groups. And obviously, at this time, we encountered the most problems. The first problem we encountered was the reliability of the sources. That's why we decided to rely on sources like sites of science and technology museums, classes of the professors of the Politecnico, developers' sites, collector sites, and universities' journals. The second problem we found was the discrepancy in quantity of information found for each good. For some goods we found like many information, but we found very few about others. And sometimes there was even a slight contradiction between sources. But thanks to the help of the teacher Schreiber, we were able to solve any doubt and uncertainty. Our last phases of work were the files writing with the help of Dr. Meroni and the translation into English. Now I want to show you from the site a few examples so that you can have a better idea. This one in particular is the Programma 101 and is an electronic table calculator produced in Italy by the Italian firm Olivetti and is considered to be the first personal computer produced in the world. As you can see, we put first the picture of the tool with a brief description of it. Then we wrote some curiosities and details. Here we can see the data sheet and lastly the bibliography. Very interesting is also the mini space. So this one that you can see in this picture is an analog electronic calculator that is produced by the British company Solartron. Very interesting about this one is the fact that the first calculator of this type dates back to the 2nd century before Christ. It's known as the machine of Antikythera, and it is assumed it was used to predict lunar eclipses and the motion of planets. Another really interesting tool is the CRC 102A, this one. So this one is the first electronic calculator to be installed in Europe. It was built in the USA and it arrived here by an old transport ship. And to protect it from the vibrations, it was surrounded by cotton balls. So these are a few facts I found very interesting about some of the tools we saw, and I wanted to share them with you. Thanks for listening and thanks for giving us this opportunity.
Thank you, Chiara. So now it's the Einstein students, Alessandro and Andrea. Can you please?
Yes. Good evening to everybody. My name is Miele Andrea Luca. And I was really glad to have the opportunity to take part in this project. In this experience, that last 2 years and involved one automation class and one IT class, we had to design a website where we stored all the information about some technical object located in Politecnico di Milano. that have an historical relevance. Every object has been photographed by us, and after collecting all the information about it, we had to write an historical and technical description of it, both in Italian and in English. We can divide our experience in three parts. In the first part, we went to the university, where we listened to the speech of some professor. They told us about the project we had to do and what we were going to photograph. In the second part of our experience, we had to design the website, and to do that, we chose to use WordPress. The main issue of this part was to pick the right template for the website. In fact, we needed to find something that could meet all our necessities. We decided to use WordPress mostly because it helped us to create a user-friendly website. In fact, our main purpose was to make it accessible to everybody. Furthermore, with WordPress, we easily configure a mobile version of the site, so it made our project even more accessible. For the same reason, we designed a mobile application for Android users. In the last part of our project, we had to write a description of every object. In every sheet, we wrote about its history, some of its most important technical data, and the photos we took of it. After that, the object's description has been translated in English. All the objects has been divided into 4 categories that are electrical, information technology, and telecommunication. In these 4 categories, we can find a timeline for every categories. Now I will let my colleague Alessandro Pecis will show you the website and the Android application.
Good morning and good afternoon, everyone. Just let me take the website. Could you see the website?
Yes, not yet. Are you sharing?
Yes.
Just a second.
You can see it now?
No.
Okay, wait just a second. Okay, like this.
Yeah, now it's working.
Okay, so good morning, everyone. I'm Alessandro, and I'm going to show you how our project became reality. It took 2 years to complete the website you're watching now on your screens. It's been 2 years in which students have worked very hard to be able to complete this project by the end of their high school studies. I want to tell you that during this presentation, I will take the computer technology section as an example. Our main idea was to divide into 4 different sections the website. So we have, as you can see, electricity, electronics, computer technology, and telecommunication. By clicking on each box, you will be redirected to the appropriate section. You can also get there by clicking collection here on the horizontal menu, which is always visible at the top of the website. By clicking collection and then computer technology, this is what happens. So we are shown different apparatuses that students have photographed at the Politecnico di Milano, and of which they've created technical sheets. By clicking on an image like this, we can see the description, and by clicking the Insights button, we can read some insights, some fun facts, and the technical data sheet. By the image like this, we can see some details, thanks to the zoom over function. The next item of the menu is thematic paths. In this page, we can walk through the history of storage units and learn about historical hints and curiosities. As you can see, we have a description here and different images. Protagonist is the section which includes all the professors which took part to the development of the DABE, so the Electronics, Information and Bioengineering Department of the Politecnico di Milano. We've been able to interview some professors and we've been able to write the biography of others. As you can see, here we have the interview, and here the biography. We remember Professor Luigi Dadda, of who you can also watch a video in his card here by clicking the play button. Here, for each collection, the timeline shows us the most important events, the most important events in the course of the history. For example, by opening the computer technology timeline, that is, this is the timeline, we can read the insights for any topic by clicking read more here. Okay, we can also change card by clicking previous or next here at the bottom of the website. On all pages, we find links that the most of the time link back to Wikipedia. Last but not least, we have the archive. The archive contains all the quick links to all the cars in the virtual museum. The About section contains the list of the companies that took part and supported the project. So let's remember the Technical Scientific Committee, Micron Foundation, Politecnico di Milano, and Politecnico Foundation, and all the students who participated to the realization of this project. You can interact with the virtual museum even on the app, which now is a beta. The app has been developed by some students of Albert Einstein High School, and for now is just in Italian. It's just an Android app. As you can see, the template is quite the same. So we have the collection and the about section, and as you saw before, by clicking on a section, you will be redirected to, for example, here, computer technology, and we have the list of all the apparatuses. By clicking the name, we can read the description, and by scrolling down, you can read the insights and the fun facts. So thanks for the attention. I've finished.
Thank you, Alessandro, Andrea, Chiara, and sorry, your name, I don't remember, Azal. So first of all, I want to say that all of you guys, all 4 schools made an amazing job. We trust you. I still remember all your face at the beginning. You look at us like crazy person, crazy adult that ask you incredible and impossible things. But as you said, if you put all, your, first of all, if you have the intention to do something well, and if you believe in yourself, you can do much, much better than you can imagine. So congratulations. I want to share a slide. Give me 1 second. Can you see my desktop?
Not yet.
Not yet. Sorry, just a second. Tell me when you can see it. Can you see now?
Yes.
Okay, great. So I want just to share this slide in which you can see on your left side where that Ada di Leonardo project, the app, is available both in Google Store and Apple Store. I would like to thank Magnetic Media Network, Emanuele and Damiano Airoldi, who allowed the release on the stores. For this, I want to say that we are finishing some tests to solve some problems that arise on Google Store on some devices. So on Monday, there will be the right version for Google Store. Apple Store is working well. For Polimuseo, I want to say this is the link where you can click in. I want to thank Roberto Resnini, who have supported the migration on DABE server. So, come back to the next part of our today event. I have the pleasure now to leave the stage to the person who let's say hello and help the students to reach this result. So I want to introduce our professor and expert who have supervised all this great job by ensuring the high quality of these two products, both for the content and for the technology used. For Adda di Leonardo, I introduce Cristia Bonomi, expert and representative of Ecomuseo Adda di Leonardo, and Ilaria Mariani, PhD at Design Images Lab of Politecnico. I just want to add today for this project there are both of them will say a few words. I want just to add that Ilaria worked and had the contribute of Nicola Brignoni and the supervision of Professoressa Marisa Galbiati. For Polimuseo, so let's start with Adda di Leonardo and then we'll give the floor to the other from Polimuseo. So Christian and Ilaria.
Thank you, Manuela. Good evening. I am Christian Bonomi, Scientific Director of the Adda di Leonardo Ecomuseo. I was involved in the project Adda di Leonardo and I especially worked with the students of the Lussana High School in draft. As Gaia and Rachele said, it was not only a standalone research on the books, but also open-mind research, able to meet the territory because of the interviews that the students made to the people of the river. I told to the students that Leonardo was curious about many different subjects at the same time. Well, they work, technical and humanistic together, shows that the new scientific knowledge can discover this ancient dialogue with humanities. We spoke about the Adda River in 3 different moments along its history. First moment, when it was sacred. Second moment, when it started to change a little with the ferry boat, bridge, and finally the third moment, when it became a hydroelectric resource. Nowadays, the modern, reborn respect for the nature shows that it's possible to have a dialogue with the river, such as in the first moment. You can visit many beautiful places of Ecomuseo that are reachable only on foot or by bicycle. This app lets visit those places to all the people, even to the people with mobility difficulties. The president, the coordinator of Ecomuseo, the representative of the municipalities present today, who are members of Ecomuseo, thanks Micron, Politecnico of Milano, and the 2 foundations. But above all, we especially thank the students for this app. The Ecomuseo hopes to work with you again for the rediscovery of local tourism. Thank you.
Thank you, Christian. Ilaria?
Hi. Thanks for involving us in this challenging project. It's been a year in which we've been involved with very young people in a project where we had the time to dream about something that is how to convey an amazing territory as a one of Adda. Let's say that this project was about social engagement in different ways. And I have to thank, of course, my research group, that is the one of Images Lab from Design Department, because it gave us the opportunity to speak about storytelling and start from storytelling in order to see and understand how to enhance cultural heritage that is very spread in the territory of Ada, but not so known, as said also before. So the chance comes from this idea of putting the story first and the people at the center of the story. And we saw very young students get immersed in these stories, making them their own, getting affectionate to that, and becoming super professional in the way in which they revised, reframed these stories in order to build a bigger picture. So we saw something that is real empowerment, that also is a way for bridging different disciplines, because as said, Department of Design was kind of leading this part that we conducted. We saw how ICT and humanities get together with design and melted in a lovely way, because we have to remember that we are professionals and researchers from design, but the rest of the people involved are students, and they took our piece and never let us down. On the opposite, they show to be very mature and able to welcome all the challenges that we posed. So ICT competencies together with cultural heritage at an important crossroad, the crossroad where multidisciplinary is really at the peak. I mean, the thing is that it was challenging in many ways, because we had to speak and to understand different languages altogether. But I guess that the result is nice and is good, because it's worth being experienced. So to keep it short, thank you very much for giving us the chance to get involved with students so young, but once again, so good, so prepared. And I think that having such an experience in this point of our life is a great opportunity, one of a unique opportunity in life, because they started to have hands-on activities much way before the moment in which we were supposed to meet them in real life, years before. So I think that you really empowered all the people involved in this project. So thank you.
Thank you, Ilaria. Now for Polimuseo, we have Professor Emeritus Fabio Schreiber, who honored us with this collaboration. Before I leave the stage to Professor Schreiber, I would like to thank also Laura Brambilla for the coordination within DAIB, and Giovanni Meroni for his supervision on students' work. So, Professor Schreiber, if you can say a few words.
Thank you, Manuela. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Good afternoon to all. Actually, as Manuela said, I'm Professor Emeritus, and I retired since 2015, so I can be considered a museum item myself. And I must say that my interest in the preservation of antiquities started when I changed the furniture in my office. I found that many of the items that I was to discard as old garbage was instead a legacy of our profession. Thus, when invited to join the Polimuseo project, I accepted the pleasure, since it allows the exhibition and sharing of the historical material of the information technology that otherwise would have remained in a cupboard in my office or in a DAIB basement. However, I was concerned about the collaboration effectiveness of high school students in a real life project with university personnel. It's very different perspective. Well, my fear disappeared when I saw the passionate involvement in the project of both teachers and students. I couldn't imagine before. Actually, the mobile app that you saw in the demonstration was conceived by the students. It wasn't included in the original specification. So they put something really from their heart in the project. And I was also encouraged by colleagues who agreed to participate and to be interviewed, and the management and the staff. Without the support, the project couldn't be done. Therefore, I thank Fondazione Micron and Fondazione Politecnico for launching this project, and all the participants for achieving a very nice and usable result. So I think that it's time to conclude, and I thank you all of you for the participation.
Thank you, Professor Schreiber. So last but not least, I have the pleasure to introduce the professor, school professor, who followed the students during the projects. For Adda di Leonardo, we have Professor Manuela Bandini and Paola Torroni from Liceo Lussana, and Professor Maurizio Agazzi from Marconi Institute. For Polimuseo, we have Professor Margherita Frigerio, Giovanna Scaglione e Adele Zappa from Liceo Banfi, and Professor Espedito Pellecchia, Claudia Gallo, and Antonino Catalano from Einstein. Having said that, on behalf of the scientific committee, we thought that it would have been very nice to leave the stage, the last words to this high school professor that really followed the job of their students. So from just few words, from Liceo Lussana, I would like to call Paola Torroni. Professor Torroni, are you there?
Yes, can you see me? Good evening, everybody. Just few words to thank above all. First of all, allowed me to extend greetings and apologies on behalf of my principal for not being here this afternoon for previous commitments. My colleague, Professor Manuela Bandini, and I would like to thank Micron for the great opportunity offered to our students. Thanks to the creation of the app, they were able to develop and improve important skills and abilities such as researching, organizing work, solving problems, collaborating, etc. Useful not only for school or job, but also for their future. Therefore, we are also grateful to all the members of Scientific Committee and Politecnico di Milano that followed the entire process, supporting and guiding our students step by step until the final result. And finally, to conclude, our World School thanks Micron for their financial contribution. Thanks to this contribution, our school has been able to increase the teaching technology by purchasing graphic tablets particularly useful for distance learning. So we do hope in other important collaboration in the future. And thanks you again.
Thank you, Professor Torroni. Now it's the turn of Professor Agazzi from Marconi Institute.
Good evening. I have to thank the Professor Ilaria Mariani. You can see the picture. Yes. Mariani, she is the lady between my two bad guys. Okay. And I have also to thank Nicola Brignoli and Christian Bonomi, because they were able to lead the project's team of more than 50 students and I should say that it was not an easy work. First of all, because they had to face with 2 classrooms of 2 different schools and different age. Half student in age of 18 or 19, and the other half in age of 16. The younger student had to do the content, while the elder the application. Even though Ilaria Mariani, Nicola Brignoli, and Christian Bonomi led the team in the right way, sharing knowledge and building good relations. So, the lesson we learned, also thanks to the meeting and brainstorming we did with Manuela Seminara of Micron, is that information sharing and good relation are key factors that enable the development of such a complex project. In the end, I also have to thank to my ex-students, Andrea Troccolo and Raul Sorrentino, for the high-level contribute they have given to the project, and because they work on the project 8 hours a day during the lockdown, from February to June, giving us an application to do such a wonderful virtual tour on the river of Adda. Last but not least, thanks to Micron and Politecnico of Milano and our director Maurizio Adamo Chiappa that give us the opportunity to do an innovative experience in the field of information technology. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Ragazzi. From Liceo Banfi, I would like to have Professor Giovanna Scaglione. Is there a professor? Okay.
Okay. Good evening. It's such a great opportunity to be here today to explain the work our students have done over the past 2 years. We are pleased to have been chosen by 2 eminent institutions, such as Politecnico of Milano and the Micron Foundation, to carry out the project. This is such an honor for us. We would like to thank all the people who preceded us. They spent their time and energies to solve problems and find solutions for everyone. This was the most significant teaching we've had. The tours and interviews were very useful for us to learn from the past in order to provide a new view of future. Their achievements during the past years are now used all over the world in technological devices. Some witnesses of this recent past are here today with us, and we want to thank them. This project should teach us the relevance of their past work and how their progresses could be a beacon for young people in search for satisfactory goals. Thank you.
Thank you, Giovanna. So, last professor from Einstein, we have Claudia Gallo. And then I promise we are going to finish. Just few minutes.
Hi. You listen me?
Yes.
Okay. Good evening to all. I'm Claudia Gallo. As a teacher with my colleagues Spedito Pellecchia and Antonino Catelano, we are very happy to have been part of this project because students were able to work together with the students of another school. This project was a fundamental experience that gave them the possibility to learn how to collaborate with other people. Also, this project was an important opportunity for the basic work training. And moreover, it was a positive experience even for us as teachers, because we have came in contact with the different realities as Politecnico Foundation, Micron Foundation, and so on. And we were able to collaborate and create a working group to fulfill the ambitious target of this important project. So I thanks for this opportunity for us, for our students. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. So let me finish before closing to thank colleagues that till now have not been mentioned, because we just have spoken about expert and professor, but believe me, I want to thank Barbara Carcano from Micron. I want to thank Francesca Brambilla of Fondazione Politecnico, that Manuela Pizzagalli and Elisabetta Caregnato. All of us, believe me, worked and share worries, difficult moment, and together with our expert, let's say, did this incredible journey. And I do believe that we'll have some new ideas for the next year. So thanks a lot to everyone. I don't know if someone wants to add something, otherwise we can close here the event. Thank you.
You've been great. Thank you.
We could do a virtual toast to the project.
Thank you, Linda.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Manuela. Thank you all.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Good evening.
Thank you.
Good evening. Bye.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Bye.
Hello. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye-bye.